Hello, Divine Feminists. How y'all been doing? So I took a little break. I needed that time to myself, have a private moment and stuff. So thank you everybody who went and visited my intro video. I want to say thank you to everybody who understood. I want to say thank you to the ones that even donated with an attitude. You know, the universe always have reasons beyond sometimes the comprehension. And maybe people's reactions is the only thing that we actually could symbolize and empathize with to translate a message or to dictate or to speak our right of a freedom of expression of a situation. So I want to tell everybody thank you. Thank you for the conscious awareness. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the dislikes. Thank you all. It really have its own rhyme and reason. There's no reason for me to go in detail about all of it. It's just all about thank you. It's just giving respect. It's a form of agreeing and disagreeing. It's a form of a spiritual boundary that I keep in place. And that's just all to it. Okay? So, I just got finished doing the Divine Masculine video. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and do the Divine Feminines right after. I won't show it when I was doing the Divine Masculines, and I didn't get a speech neither what I was going to do the Divine Feminines today or tomorrow. But it was so much of a unique feeling that came off of it that I'm kind of pushing myself to the limit by doing the Divine Feminines. Because I am trying to figure out some stuff in my own way in doing this, which I know is going to come to fruition in one way, whether I like what's going to be the results or not. I just have to prepare myself for results and just be optimistic, because that's all I'm aiming for is results. I'm trying to gain understanding. It's a hard task as a human to actually remain optimistic in the situation, so I ain't trying to act like I really got all the strength to do it. I'm right now just at a point in time I had a courage. Not saying I got the strength. So, just to get a leeway for all the disappointments after this video that aired. I feel you. I'm waiting. It ain't nothing but another new day. And I just came back up here to do a video. Right now, at this point in time, ain't nothing changed. I just been absent. Everything's still the same. So Divine Feminine, I wanted to do the Celtic cross with the elemental read. The Celtic cross is going to represent the general energy for the week, you know, just to see what's going on to get back up inside of here. I don't have no specific way I'm going to be posting videos or anything at this present time. I'm just getting into the feeling of it, waiting for my decision to be made shortly after the videos get posted, to feel the feeling that's going to come and take it from there. So I really never really did the Celtic cross, but I really didn't feel like doing no different kind of spread at this point in time neither. So I just wanted to come up here with the Celtic cross for my rhymes and reasons. So that's the way the Divine Masculines is laid out. And this is the way I'm laying out the Divine Feminines. So I got my book in my lap real quick, because this is the book I'm dealing with. So the book I'm dealing with, this is the this is the theory of the spread that comes from this book, because there's many books and they can have whatever theory they have. And so, you know, Celtic Cross got its own one book that go into way more detail. This is just what this book that I'm into have published. So, Celtic Cross. This is one of the most popular of all spreads. Author Edward White called the Celtic Cross the most suitable for obtaining an answer for a definite question. Select a signifier and place it on the table to bring you or the person for whom the reading is being done for into the reading. Okay? So the signifier that I use is not a card. I just call out a divine feminine collective energy. So that's a signifier here. If you feel like you don't fall over that and you just want to watch it for the entertainment, that's what's up. Please, accuse. That's all to it. So card 1 came out, and the card 1 is the Emperor. Okay, this card covers you and describes the immediate concern. So this is what is the divine feminine's concern. We got the Emperor. So before I get into the interpretation, it's very important for me because of the way I see the layout. I think it's very important because the card 2 crosses over, which make the cross so significant for the Celtic cross. Okay? This crosses you and describes obstacles facing you. Exactly. Because the back of the card would be facing what the divine feminine's concern is. Okay? So you're concerned about this obstacle. So that we got the Emperor with the Knight of Swords. So what can this be? So the divine feminine could be concerned about the divine masculine. And what I mean by concerned about the divine masculine, it seems like the divine feminist is concerned about the divine masculine position, labeling. What is the liability within the name of the divine masculine theme? What is the asset that is gained with using the terminology divine masculine? What can get depreciated within the language of the divine masculine? And not only that, if I'm inheriting the divine masculine energy, what does that actually do for me on a gender specific situation? What what I'm saying? What is the benefit of it as far as gender specific? It seemed like there's some kind of mythology that that the divine feminist is struggling with when it comes to this Emperor. That's why I got the Knight of Swords, because it's a myth. It's something that you feel is how can I say it? Divine feminists feel like that this language dictates or drives its future. It dictates and it conquers its conscious mind. The divine masculine, and maybe it could also be the divine feminine since it slipped up out of my mouth. What is this divine partnership? Y'all seem to be somewhere up in there. It's petty. Is petty knowledge is more or less. I see why it's an obstacle. It's an obstacle because you're trying to seek some wisdom that comes with the territory of your age in society. You're trying to seek you're trying to seek it's like the divine feminines need such a validation. The divine feminines need to be recognized. And it don't necessarily mean that it has to be sex specific. It has to be sex specific. It just means that, from a conscious standpoint, the subconscious standpoint of it all, this subconscious mind of it all is just like exploded. It's burnt out. It's like Your divine masculine conscious area is lit, but your subconscious really has the lights off. It's like you really living in darkness, as because the persona of the divine feminine energy is seen as darkness. So now the darkness is now took completely over your subconscious, and you functioning just so much in a conscious state of mind that the conscious mind is now looking for justifications. It's going from the conscious to the conscientious mind. You looking for the rights and the wrongs. You're looking for the morals. You're looking for the values. You're looking for the integrity. You're trying to find all these little crumble bits and pieces of it all. For what? And see, when the for what comes in, that's when the for what. I'll be right back, y'all. Hello. Okay. Alright. I'm coming back around. Appreciate y'all patience. If y'all feeling disrespectful, okay, I guess I was. I don't know. I don't feel like I was disrespectful. Maybe that's the divine masculine energy, that selfishness, but you know what I'm saying. Maybe it does bother people that I do the pauses or anything. I don't know. So what was I talking about before the phone call happened? Oh yeah. The pettiness of the pettiness of searching for the right or wrong. And it's almost like, I mean, to me it's petty because, I mean, it's nothing but a whole bunch of conscious thoughts. It's not no, is, you know, for me to be in the divine feminine energy, it's not a subconscious, it's not a subconscious or deep thought that's going on. It's an observation of what's going on and constantly producing allegations, assumptions, predictions, reminiscing on history, resurrection of history. You know, is without the history and the science and the math and whatever language, selected language, written or oral language that's spoken at this point in time, I mean, that's about the basis of the connection. Once again, that's nothing but a conscious and a conscientious state of form. In my personal opinion. Well, divine feminines, y'all got a lot of interruptions. That's what I mean, the Knight of Swords. That's, you know, the divine masculine, I had no interruptions. Divine feminine. And I expected another interruption to come out. But that's how the Knight of Swords actually plays. You know, the Knight of Swords is a defensive kind of energy. It plays almost like the rook. It could be the rook or the knight on the chessboard, in my point of view. It could even be the pawn, depending on what is the reason for the Knight of Swords actually really showing up to come in. So it can be a pawn, you know. In his own way. It even could be a queen or a king. But they stepped down, and not stepped down from their power. They just took a vacation. So when they took the vacation, they came inside of a lesser energy to be able to have an experience that was needed in order for them to gain the understanding that they want without utilizing. It's like, okay, so it's almost, I put it this way, like a king or the queen running a whole country. So even though you run the whole country, you might not know every citizen in your country. Every citizen might know you, per se by the name, and depending on how the advertisement go, the poetries, the way that you play the role in the economical development, how you receive your royalties, they're going to be consciously aware. It's like us having a government, us in the United States having a White House. It's being consciously aware of the process, but it doesn't mean that you had a real formal introduction into place. And that's what the Emperor and the Knight of Swords kind of feel like. You know, it's some lesser energy, but it doesn't mean that you lessen your power. It just means that there's something that is not totally fulfilled. You need a void to be fulfilled. And it seems like that's it for this week. Okay. Oh, let me get the book back out, so we can keep on with it. Okay, so number 3. Card number 3 is over top of the card of 1 and 2. They all the baby little cross up in here. Okay, so number 3, this crowns you and describe what you know. What you know to you, to be known, what is revealed to you objectively. Okay, this is what is over the situation. So with this energy, what is coming up is the 8 of Cups. Okay, that 8 of Cups is coming up. So it seems like with the divine feminine energy that's going on is what you know best to do is flee. You know, it's a fight or flee type of thing, but you're choosing to flee. You're choosing to flee, but it's not like you're not choosing to flee to go to a fight. And it's not that you're choosing to flee because you're running from a fight. It could be actually both. You're running from a fight just to run into another fight. If this situation is deemed to be something that you have to face, especially with the Emperor, is the real concern. Is this a real challenge or whatever you got going on? Is this something that I'm really supposed to deal with? And if it is what I'm supposed to deal with, how? Once again, that goes all the way back to what I'm saying. What does a divine masculine mean? What does a divine feminine mean? Well, they have many myths. So why you know, it's almost like you want to put the Wonder Woman lasso on a myth and hoping that you're going to get nothing but the truth that will set you free. And then when it happens, you're mad at the truth because the truth is ambiguous. You're mad at a truth that is beyond the human age. It's not beyond the human realm of consciousness, but it's beyond the human realm of age. And you're seeking a truth in a different age, but you want the truth about an age. So you're getting the truth about an age, but it's not beneficial. So you got to keep moseying on until it works, until something fits. So what is the foundation of it? 9 of Pentacles. Maybe it is the curse that people didn't put out here with Obama. Yes, I can. That yes, I can has been hexed. It's so sad that, you know, the hatred is so much there that you take words and you turn it against people, which is so fucking crazy. But it is what it is. But it is, you know, let's assume that it's not. We're going to assume that the words is not hexed. So the 9 of Pentacles is the foundation. It's all about yes, I can. It's not that much different from the divine masculine energy. Except it seems like the divine masculine have a little bit more compassion. And if the divine feminine is supposed to be a compassionate energy, well, you lacking it. And maybe that's why the Emperor is here. You're lacking the compassion. You're not lacking desire, but you're lacking compassion. And you got the desire. You got more desire than anything. Your desire is rampant. So, what is the past situation and something that's fading away? So we got the King of Wands. There you go. I told you, you're lacking the compassion. Your compassion is fading away. You got a desire, but you don't have the compassion. The compassion is not here. Okay? And is it a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. You book a private reading if you feel like you need to know, because some divine feminists, y'all got questions. Y'all want to know some answers. It don't mean that I got all the answers that you want to know. It don't even mean that I'm going to please you. Just like I had a new customer yesterday, and he was sitting there talking about how it worked. He said, dude, everything's supposed to be spot on. I said, well, it depends on what you call spot on. Because what I'm going to tell you can be spot on. It doesn't mean that you're going to accept it. It doesn't mean that you're going to perceive it right off gate the proper way. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get defensive if I do explain it. Until I lock in on the proper language with you, you could resist it until that moment comes where something I say is just click. So I don't know about it being spot on. But what I do know is I'm only going to remain in my gift. And that's just the way it works. But he left with a smile. So I'm happy because I feel like I did good. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So with me saying come to me doesn't mean that I'm going to make you happy. I'm not saying it for that. What I'm saying is I'm talking to a whole collective. That is just too much energy and too much time to burn on a collective way. But overall, your compassion is falling. Your desire is high. So with the King of Wands being there, it's just the King of Wands standing in a versatile position. It doesn't mean it's almost like one flame is getting replaced by another flame. That's all it is. So what is before you, you got the Hangman, and there you go. Now this, to me, it's making sense. Because, card position number 6 says, this is before you and describes new circumstances coming to being in the near future, the Hangman. What is that Hangman feeling going to be? Once again, how do I know the difference between my compassion and my desire? That's a heavy one to distinguish. And it's one that who knows who you might need help with, or if you need outside help with. Only you can dictate whether you do. That's why y'all divine feminists coming in with the Emperor with the Knight of Swords. Y'all want to divine feminists, y'all, you know what I'm saying? And the divine masculine want to have, it's almost like, put it this way, and the divine masculine want to say, okay, if I made y'all feel like y'all divine feminists been abused and dogged out and I done treated y'all so bad, okay, take the road. Take the lead way. So now the divine masculine to move the fuck out the way. Now the divine masculine move the fuck out the way. Now you got darkness. Because the light is gone. You done got what you wanted. And now you can't figure out how to rise in the darkness. If I was a divine masculine and I seen that would have happened, I would have probably did the same shit. That's the best revenge in the world. It's to give you what the fuck you want and look at you look lost. And look at you keep running after the light. You rising up in something that you don't even want no more because it don't appear to be the same. It's so hard to bring creativity out of darkness, and it's so easy to put creativity onto light. And you got to be shining. You got to be seen through. So once again, what's the difference between your desire and your compassion? You think compassion only supposed to be with cups? Is it an elemental thing? Cups only come with compassion? But then passion is part of fire. But the C-O-M, is a sexual orientation that still deals with fire. But a book told you that the water is compassion. So you made your judgment. You place your own self in a hangman mode. You hung yourself. You completed the charades. You completed the scrambled phrase when you made that decision. When you decided to say COM belongs in a cup of water and not with a cup of fire, passion could be there, but COM got to get the fuck up out of here. You made your own bed. You hung your own self. You filled your own void. So there you go. That's how you got desire. Because it was your desire to put it there. So if everybody don't like your cup of passion, why you upset? So let me keep going. Card number 7. This describes the divine feminine current mental state. Queen of Pentacles. Okay? So you are desiring. See, the Queen of Pentacles ain't going to show up without desire. Unless you're in a reverse. Then she can't be that King of Wands. Technically in reverse. Especially with the Nine of Pentacles being the foundation. You want to be the key. You want to be important. You want to feel secure. You feel you know what I'm saying? This your state of mind, your wants. Doesn't mean that that's also like a desire. A want is a desire. You desiring this. Your desire is very high. Very high. How's the divine feminines looking at what this weekly read in their external environment? Is making your wishing well go full. It's making your desire. The more and more you see things that you used to have, the more and more you read history, the more you feel wiser. The more and more you get into science, the more you feel like you could conquer. The more and more you get into math, the more and more you feel like you got clarity. And the more and more you get in language, just make you feel like the more and more people that you can experience your desires with. Your goals, your accomplishments. It's not about whether they loyal. It's all about the benefit. Loyalty has nothing to do with it. Integrity does not have nothing to do with it. But morals and values do. Why is morals and values important? That's what that Six of Cups is talking about. The morals and values. Also the Nine of Pentacles. The morals and values. The morals and values is more significant this week more than anything. And why? It's more important because morals and values shows the truest desire. It don't show their truest compassion. It shows their truest desire that's hiding the compassion that can come out. It's almost stepping up to the plate to believe that you could bring out the compassion or you could resurrect what is dead. It's almost like being rebirthed and going through the baby stage. A baby don't have compassion. A baby got desires, but a baby don't got compassion. The baby expects to receive compassion, to learn what compassion is. But then you got the Emperor. So are you trying to teach compassion? Since the divine feminists are rising, y'all the examples of compassion, or you don't want that burden. You never thought about that you've been carrying that burden around. And maybe from the Queen of Pentacles, or because you're a woman, that's the burden that you didn't carry to survive with, was your compassion. So now you didn't survive so long off of your compassion, you at the point of, how do I now survive off of desire? And how do this desire actually makes me feel? To be actually living and surviving off of desire. Is there something different from surviving off of compassion that's different from surviving off of desire? Is there something really different? But then when you face with the darkness of it, you don't know. And when you see a shadow, you don't want to believe it's yours. Because you might not like the way it looks in the dark. So you run to the light, hoping that it'll follow you. But it did. You just like the way you look in the light compared to looking in the dark. But if you ever thought about if you saw yourself in the dark, maybe that could be what people who's in the light see you as. Just because you see yourself different in the light doesn't mean that they don't see your darkness in the light. See, usually when anybody, male or female, strives to get a relationship, you don't want a relationship where somebody love you just for your good. You want somebody that's going to go through the hard times. You want somebody that's going to love you when you get up in the fucking morning and you ain't got to put on your goddamn makeup. You want to be able to wash your face off without fucking up your fucking pillow because you're trying to stay fucking cute for a fucking man that ain't even promised tomorrow. Neither are you. You want to find a way to be within inside of yourself. You want to be able to put on your costume, but you want that person to love you when you neg it. Not just love your costume, but love you when you neg it. But if you're not able to accept yourself in a negative mode, why are you expecting others to accept you any different? If they accept you only because of your light, even though they're aware of your darkness, why are you mad? Because it's no different than the way you treating yourself. You accept yourself in the light and reject yourself in the darkness. So they aren't treating you the way you want to be treated because you do it to yourself. So when you judging them because they're going through a bad day, or they got to be bipolar, or they wasted your time, they ain't know what they wanted, they was all right. Why did you have to buy me this? Why did you give me this? Why did you spend this time? Well, maybe they did all of that because they wanted to know when you was going to face your darkness. If they did all of that, maybe they was cool with your darkness. But maybe they don't want to grow. Maybe they don't want to raise a woman who's supposed to be rising. And the divine feminine is supposed to be so awoken, and the divine masculine is supposed to be so asleep. Well, why should the divine masculine raise what's already woke? So why not play dumb? And why not play dead? Because you're gonna boss me. If I'm in a divine masculine situation, you're gonna boss me and convince me every day that I'm nowhere near your level. And you're right. Because if I embrace my light and darkness, and you only want somebody to love your light and keep your darkness a secret, then yeah, we ain't on the same level. So let's get into the next two cards. Position 9 is all about the indication of what you hope and fear, and perhaps what you hope and fear. What's your hope or fear, or perhaps what's your hope and fear? So I had to get 2 cards. I had to tweak this one little section like I did on the Divine Masculines. So for the Divine Feminine, your hope is the 2 of Swords. You don't want to be pushed to that limit. You don't want to be pushed into your own gift and your own power. Especially if it's not, especially because of the limitations. Maybe limitation is not what you want in a digital world. It's too many, you got to ascend. Why should you have limitations if you ascended? Why should you have limitations if your womb is span to have babies? Why should you have them? Why should this be a decision you make? Why should you even have to be put in a position to be a Divine Masculine? You don't. Nobody asked you to embrace your Divine Masculine energy. Nobody, no more than anybody asked the Divine Masculine to embrace his Divine Feminine. If you don't want that energy, don't be mad if anybody comes and hijack it. You didn't want it. If you don't want it, then why are you complaining? You're complaining because what you don't want, you need part as your daily essence. So that person going to feed you your daily essence the way that they feel needed. Still, once again, we're going back. If it's not part of your agenda and not part of your thought pattern, then put this part, not thought of your part of your thought pattern as, well, it can't affect me because I don't believe in it. Keep believing it every day. No matter what challenges you go on in, don't revert back to a theme. Stay focused on what's going in before you, which might be hard because it's the Hangman. But it's the decision that you set forth. It's the way that you want it. Nine of Pentacles. So if it's the way you want it, I mean, it is what it is. So what's your fear? Here you go. The Queen of Wands. The lack of satisfaction. That's what that Hangman do. The Two of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Both of them masculine energies bringing out the Emperor. You feel like you got to do so much. So the Queen of Wands got to come out because the Queen of Pentacles is tired. Like I was saying when I came to the Queen of Pentacles. It's like, which one are you really? The King of Wands or the Queen of Pentacles? Because you got to decide between the compassion and your desire. The Two of Swords, too. Compassion and desire. And it's when it's such a sticky way and such a hangman territory to actually figure out, especially when it's based on your morals and your values, it's a hard road to walk. It's not an easy road to walk. But you know every day that you're getting up, if you're going to work, if you got kids and taking care of them, if you posting videos every single day to get them out, you just working on certain days to get them out, whatever it is. You working, you productive. If you watching somebody's video, you still moving. So it ain't like you lifeless, even though you might feel it, because you stuck between the compassion and desire and your morals and values. You stuck in a whole compass. And that's probably why it makes sense. When the outcome for this week for the Divine Feminines is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fate. You feeling the Godhead circle. The masculine energy. The spiritual energy. The harnessing of it all. You feeling the harness energy that makes you feel like a human. It's making you feel within inside of your flesh. It's being territorial. It's being stubborn. It's making so much come upon. But you're still moving. You're still doing what you got to do. What's at the end of the deck? The World card. Okay? Divine Feminines. So it seems like this weekly energy right here for this week Well, I mean, hey, right and wrong is a lesson that's going to be learned. And it's not going to be a learned experience just alone. It's going to be learned through experience, learned through wisdom, learned through knowledge. It's going to be agreeable to disagree. It's going to be a tug of war. What is the support? What is the superior focus? Do I supposed to be superior to a group? Do I supposed to be superior to myself? What is the superiority? What is the gift in an unconditional love? What is the theology or the mythology? What is the synthesis or what is the thesis? What is the construction and the layout of this paper? Even though I have an outline that's here, this outline is nothing but a guide. I must now put this outline into a paper form. Could be a book. So do I begin with a chapter? Or do I begin with an introduction? Do I begin with a prefix? Do I begin with acknowledgement? Everything that I begin with, I could end with. Do I let it flow and then let it rest and come back and reevaluate it? Why am I thinking about the thoughts I'm thinking about? What is the objective that's here? Is it telling me that I've been invaded by aliens? Is that the reason why I can't walk in the darkness? Is because I look like an alien? I look like a predator? I look like something that I don't even have words to explain? Is this why I want to be stuck on earth? Because I can find beauty in myself in the light. But yet, the same beauty I have in the darkness is still tugging with me in the light. Because if I can't figure out between the compassion and the desire, then I just desire myself. So what is the benefit of desiring myself? What is the benefit of giving compassion to myself? What is it? It seemed like a deep little thought of a journey for the divine feminist this week. It's quite interesting. I appreciate anybody who came and visit Resilient Reaper Tarot. If you want anything into your personal situation, the information will be down in the description bar. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and get into the elemental side of it. So I'm going to start off with the earth element. On the zodiac sign, you can Google search the earth element zodiacs and can work it from there. So what came up for the earth element is we have the 9 of swords, we have the 6 of pentacles, and we have the Ace of wands. So like on the materialistic aspect, it is all about going out here for your desire and compassion. What is compassion? Well, if you get up and go to work, but you know you don't want to go to work, you're being compassionate. You're not being compassionate to yourself, even though it might seem like the 9 of pentacles. No. The 9 of pentacles is just an off-balance compassion. You got 4 of pentacles because it's part of your stability. You're not ready to let go of the job for the day. The 5 of pentacles is coming in that it's going to be kind of fucked up to treat people like that, just not to show up. Everybody at the job ain't do shit to me. So I'm going to at least go ahead and show up to motherfucking work. Because even though one motherfucker is pissing me the fuck off, I don't feel like taking it out on everybody. So then you get your 9 of pentacles, and then you're, once again, now, you're still in compassion, but then you also in desire. Because you desire, once again, what I was saying in the beginning, you're not going all the way into your subconscious mind. You're staying conscious and you're going conscientious. So now you're perceiving forward. So the Ace of Wands is now pushing you forward. The fire is on your ass. You're getting yourself ready to go to work. It's giving you all that energy to go ahead. You done made that decision to go ahead and do it. So now you're going ahead and you're going to work. Ace of Wands. So it turned to your desire. Because once you get up in there, you're going to put on a front. It's not being compassionate, because you still could talk shit to people. You just desire to put on a front, because maybe you're thinking about a bill. Maybe it's your cable bill. Maybe it's your cell phone bill. Maybe it's your hair bill. Maybe it's your nail bill. Maybe it's your rent. Maybe it's your lights. Maybe it's your car note. Maybe you just don't feel like tricking this motherfucking week to get some extra fucking money. Whatever the fuck it is. It is shifted to your desire. You desire to get up. Because you had all the other options. You told yourself, you, with your compassionate way, that these was the reasons. Don't mean you going up in your job to have a decent attitude and all that good stuff. No. Not with the Nine of Swords and the Six of Pentacles, no. It don't mean that you changing your behavior or you gotta change your behavior. No. It just means that your desire overrule. So for some divine masculines, just to be on the opposite persona of it, if you feel like, your divine feminine is a earth sign that might be going through something, yeah. This week, yeah, they just might do things just for the fuck of it. Maybe the fuck of it is they don't want to argue with you. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do this. Just so you can shut up. But I'm telling you, I'm doing this because you're going to do something for me. I ain't telling you you're going to do something for me right now. But you're going to do something for me in the future. Wheel of Fortune. Trust and bet your ass on it. So if you're going to put the pressure on your divine feminine to go ahead and make this big old decision, don't worry, you're going to get it. Just understand the consequences ain't came yet. Just because you think you done outlined all the consequences doesn't mean that your consequences outlined is correct or right. It just means that either you're going to write the consequences in as you go through the outline, or you're going to try to do some automated writing and try to place the consequences in your advantage before they come about. Okay? So, the shadow card is the Five of Pentacles. So, let's go to the air. So, the air card. You got the Knight of Swords. Okay? The Knight of Swords was crossing. This was the obstacle for the week. So, it just might be a mental thing for divine feminines, with the Knight of Swords being the shadow card. So, we got the Six of Wands. We got the Eight of Pentacles. And we got the Justice card. So, pride and victory. What I mean, this Eight of Pentacles is a victory too. In this card. But it's also, in a sense, because it's like, okay, let me put it this way. In the Six of Wands point of view, it's almost like going with the story with the rabbit and the turtle. The rabbit's supposed to talk so much shit to the turtle, but the turtle finally got there. It's a couple stories where the rabbit got tricked up and the turtle won. There's a couple stories where the rabbit won. This is where the Eight of Pentacles is going to come in at. You know what you've done. You know what you do. You know what you're thinking about doing. Now, if you forget what you have done, or have you, however you have done it, just trust me on a namaste tip. Like this Eight of Pentacles is showing, somebody in the spirit world has recorded it. Somebody has. So, even if you're in the shadow or the midst of your darkness and you might not like what you see, it doesn't mean necessarily that's the way you look. And it doesn't necessarily mean you don't look that way. Maybe you seeing that image of yourself because it's the reciprocating fear of not knowing what is right or wrong while you going through a transformation. And because you're so picky about knowing so much and having so much wisdom, have so much knowledge, which way I need to look, which, which news channel do I supposed to go to? Which one is the best one? Oh, fuck, everything is fucking fake news. God damn it. And then you go to a motherfucking place and you see yourself and it's like, oh shit, that ain't me. What the fuck is this shit before me? So it's no longer fake news. So now it's almost like, who do I talk to so I can get through this goddamn situation? Who could help me out? Because I see something before me that's just really kind of not what I want to be challenging. But once again, what is the difference of facing your own fear? Facing your own fear is almost like seeing that little creature in that demon. It's only more real because you made it more realer outside of yourself. It shows you where your courage is weak at. But it doesn't mean that somebody ain't watching you, because once again, I'm going to piggyback to when I was into the earth element. You get up, you go to work, you made the decision, right? You decided to put the compassion up in there. You decided to put the desire. It won't like the person you ain't like at work, won't the ugly person per se, or could have been. So in your reality world, you feel like you conquered the fear. But you conquer the fear through the force of desire. And you put a tangible compassion that's up inside of there that maybe you don't feel that other people, especially with the Six of Cups, should, well, how can I say it? Other people could have the same compassionate ideas as you. But when it actually all unfolds, it's like everybody then abandoned the whole situation. And the whole shit gonna come crumbling down. Because to realize that everybody feel the same way means the foundation gonna fall. Because if everybody just pull back because everybody feel like this is a fucked up job at one time and nobody feel like being compassionate but to themselves, well then the company collapse, right? It's a spontaneous protest that happened that nobody anticipated. Same thing with facing your fear. When you face your fear, you feel a collapse of something. And sometimes the collapse is like you just came consciously aware that you had a fear that you didn't even realize was a fear. So the collapse happened. But it don't mean you can't get back up, because if you look in the real reality, you always been getting up. No matter how many foundations then cracked in the spiritual world. You've been still functioning in the earth, in reality. You done gave yourself some form of entertainment to function. In your mind, in your eyesight view, or whatever else it is. You done it. So Divine Masculine, if you got an air sign that's up inside of this situation here, this week they're going to feel very prideful. They're going to feel like it costs to be the boss. They're going to be very slave-driven, very demanding. It's not, they can help it if they want to. It depends on where they're going to put their compassion and desire. It's up to that feminine to decide on whether they want to or not. That's all to it. So, for the fire, we got the Four of Pentacles. You can Google search the fire elements. So, for the fire, we got the Hermit. We got the Five of Pentacles. And we got the Six of Pentacles. Okay? So, it seems like the fire signs is You're kind of wish-washy. You're kind of faking it and making it because you don't want to deal with consequences. It seems like the fire signs with this energy right here. Well, not fire. It seems like the fire energy here is just, once again, stuck between the compassion and the desire. It's hard to dictate which one is going to be the truest shit. But you got to understand that one of them going to be sacrificed. Now, what a sacrifice actually occur at depends on you. Because the Hermit is saying you got an option to sacrifice from an external factor, and you got an option to sacrifice from the internal. If you don't feel like thinking deep on it, no matter what, the sacrifice is going to happen. You just got to wait for the results. Now, the results is going to come in due time. The results is not going to be instantaneously if you didn't make a decision between the internal and the external. But if you made a decision, your results going to be more spontaneous than what you might expect, depending on what the instantaneous decision and the location that you made the instantaneous decision in your external environment. All of that's going to play a role. Six of Pentacles. You need to consider those. And if you lack the consideration of them, once again, it's just going to bring out, I guess, whatever your fear is and whatever your hope is. The Two of Swords and the Queen of Wands. It's going to get prompt. So you got to choose which one of them is it. Is it your fear or is it your hope? And is your hope still part of your fear? Because you can't accept rejection. There's many ways you got to really apply this. It's very tricky. Now, Divine Masculines, if you're messing with a fire element, well, they might be a little bit secretive this week. They might be trying to get their own self grounded and try to, they might, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be really moody. They're going to be real moody. Don't mean that, some of them might could go hostile. It just depends. It depends on the Divine Feminine, the situation that's going on. But they're going to be very moody. If they already got insecurities, well, their insecurity is going to be extremely high this week. If you're not ready to sit in a house with your Divine Feminine all the time to keep their insecurities right, then the only thing I can say is stand your ground the way that you're supposed to. But stand your ground in a way that you can take the consequences. Because it's not going to be the fact that this Divine Feminine ain't going to be upset because you stand your ground. Unless something happens in their conscious awareness where they decided to trigger in the compassion to understand the situation. But if they remain more in desire, you can hang it up. They'll have to switch over to compassion. And once again, who knows what that's going to be. But that's the sacrificial situation that's going to be faced. So the water. Underneath of the deck, we got the Six of Swords. So the water element. When it comes to this, we got the Two of Pentacles, we got the Star card, and we got the Ace of Wands. Y'all gonna be this water is very strategic. You function, the Divine Feminine is really functioning off of their emotions. That Eight of Cups is speaking real loud in that Six of Swords. See, the Eight of Cups was crowning their energy. This really speaking of that Eight of Cups with the Two of Pentacles, the Star card, and the Ace of Wands. There's a lot of selfish desire. I'm not saying that it's good. I'm not saying that it's bad. I could say, if you want me to tell you, then you're going to have to pay to get a private read. And I'd be bold enough to tell you if it is or not. But as far as this general energy is not my place. I mean, all of those scenarios, good and bad, is going to be here. And that's just off of fleshly prediction. It's not because it's a direct because I'm a direct target. No, I'm just a spectator reading the energy. I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm just reading the energy that's before me. But yeah, it does contain that. But it's definitely all more in desire. Divine Feminine is definitely more in desire than compassion this week. Now the compassion, as far as this water element gonna go, it's a worthy thing though. It's a moral thing. This is where the morals and values coming in at, through the water energy. It's very judgmental. That's probably why the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Emperor, and the King of Wands is up here. It's very judgmental. Then you got the Hangman. The Hangman is the passivity that's up inside of it with the Two of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. Meaning that you're not trying to drown nobody, but you damn sure trying to get what you want. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of wicked. But if this is like a water sign, you know what I'm saying, with the Two of Pentacles and the Star card, I mean, this water sign right here is, I don't want to say wounded, but they damn sure spicy than a motherfucker. They spicy as shit. With this kind of energy, they spicy. Very, very spunky. Very spunky. Very demanding. In his own way. It's like a shield that's inside of this water energy. It's a protective world that's inside of this water energy. So Divine Masculine is almost like, it's like drinking, you know, if you got a Divine Feminine that's on the water side of it, and they really feel like you know good, and you presenting yourself to them, you subject to be dinner. If you come negative, they very manipulative. That Ace of Wands is very much a fire energy. Six of Swords is just like, you know, like the Chariot. Like, if you don't want no static, don't give nobody no static. For real, for real. You don't want no static, don't give no static. That's all to it. And that's just real shit, Divine Masculine. If you need help with your situation, then book a private reading, especially if you got a water sign, any of these signs. I try to help you out the most with the earth sign or the air sign. I mean, all of them is tight money, Divine Masculines. It won't like your reading won't tight money neither. But it's some tight money here. I ain't even bullshitting. This some fucking tight money because the general... Okay. So, I am back. My battery did die. I kept peeping at it. I thought I could get through. So, before it had died, I was just trying to explain to Divine Masculines, like, don't be gloating because of the Divine Feminine energy. Sometimes the sexes love to gloat when it's the opposite sex, so try not to gloat. I noticed the video is already too long, so the primary message already got out. I just, for me, regardless of how I might portray the act, I guess this is my compassionate side of it, not my desire. But I am going to be compassionate enough to get a charm caster for the Divine Feminines and just go ahead and close it out. So yeah, just to let y'all know, my battery did die. So I did charge it up a little bit just to knock out this video. I hope everybody enjoyed the video, enjoyed the messages. I hope y'all get a chance to look at the Divine Masculine. And I'm talking to both sexes and both of them. So, you know, y'all messages is overlap. But it's a little bit of a difference in it, per se. At least I can see it. You know what I'm saying? I could see the difference in it. Maybe y'all can and maybe y'all can't. It can't run spontaneous. So if you feel like both of the messages is running spontaneous, well, consider that it is. But at the same time, also consider why they connected. Because it might be a two-part process that you got. Once again, if you'd like to book your own personal and private reading or visit even to donate, all that information is down in the description bar. Once again, thank you for visiting Resilient Reaper Tarot. I am a witty, feisty person. You can hear it in my tone. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. But until the next time you come, let me get out the Divine Feminine Charm Caster for this weekly general reading. Okay? So, universe, can I get the Charm Caster that would be good for the Divine Feminine weekly reading so I can close this message out? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to try to work on some other videos. Y'all got Goddess, Shakmat, and Fire Agate. Passion of the Lion Heart. So I'm going to do like I did with the Divine Masculine. Y'all got Ace. So Ace is a very unique number compared to the Divine Masculine having 3s. They're a little bit beginning of it. 8 is really digging more deeper, I think, than anything. But there's no here, no there. It's really just up to whatever your situation is. Okay? So, I'm going to read the italic part, and then that'll be the end of it. Okay? So, Passion of the Lion Heart. We bring you the empowerment of Passion of the Lion Heart. Through passion, you will dedicate yourself with an intensity and discipline that may surprise you. Passion is love activated. It is an energy that moves you from within and empowers you to act in the world in ways you would not otherwise dare to even consider. Passion gives you strength, plugs you into the eternal energy of sacred fire, and generates the ability to accomplish tasks you once may not have believed possible. With great passion, there can be great pain. The heart that loves wild and open is also the heart that can feel disappointment and doubt most keenly. The empowerment of the lion heart strengthens your heart to recover from any pain through the power of courage, commitment, and bold, love and devotion to what matters most to you. I think that really fits. I even like the reconnection, being that the video actually cut off because the battery died. And that we was actually talking about how, you know, the COM in compassion is primarily a very hidden focus. That COM. Passion and then desire is really kind of obvious, and we love to lead that with the fire. We don't really like to put compassion. Most people don't. I do. But, you know, it's not about agreeing, and it's not being about who is right. I'm not saying it. I'm saying from my logical perspective. So if you're listening to me, my logic includes compassion in the fire. It also includes my compassion for me is in every element. If you manifesting through the elements, they all have to come together to produce the compassion. COM also is the beginning for compound. So all 4 elements can make a pound. Just consider that. Like they said, the heart is full of happiness, but also the heart space is what experiences the pain. When that pain comes, sometimes the compassion shifts to desire. You need the wound to heal. Until the next time, y'all stay positive and be safe.